We are live. I'm your host, Go Rome. Welcome to the Rome Show podcast. I got a special guest. How you doing?
Hey there, Mr. Ray. It's nice to see you, baby.
I appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. It's my pleasure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Yes.
Nice, nice. So, Austin Powers is a very iconic actor, very iconic movie. Let's take it back to the beginning. What made you decide to step into the world of performing, and what made you pick Austin Powers?
Well, I've been an actor forever and ever. I've been an impressionist forever and ever. And I started doing impressions professionally on the radio with Rick Dees. Kiss FM, Kiss FM, KIIS FM 102.7, Los Angeles. And I didn't choose to do Austin Powers. Austin Powers chose me because I just thought this would be a really great voice to do, on the radio, and a great Halloween costume. And then by the time Halloween came around, everybody was dressing as Austin. And people said to me, "Oh, I've seen you in person as Pee Wee. I've seen you in person as Tootsie. So, this is Halloween. You got Austin. You may have something with this. It's not bad. I think it's kind of good." So that was 1997, the year the first Austin came out. And then the big push came in 1999 when the second Austin Powers film came out, The Spy Who Shagged Me. And but that's how it started. It started with a voice on the radio.
Nice. Interesting story. And I know that was not easy. A lot of people wait for the perfect moment to chase something creative. What pushed you to take the first step and put yourself out there?
But like I said, I have had experience performing, in public and performing, as an actor, entertainer and stuff, and doing these characters just as limited as it was. So I had the tools at least to get started. And as I say, it hit with people. They said, "Hey, we want you for this. We want you for this. We want you for this." So that was the push, was the response that I was receiving. People were saying, "This, you have something here. So let's, you should keep doing it. You should kind of build on it and stuff." So yeah, it was what the public, the public wanted. It was a response to my presentation, which they saw and then invited me to well, why don't you host this? And, "Oh, could you come to my party? Could you do?" That's how it all started.
Super nice. So when you got that first book, the first gig, how'd it feel?
It felt great. The first person to book me was not the first person. It was not the first gig I actually did. The first person to book me was my dentist out in San Pedro. He said, "I want to book you for my son's birthday party in July of whatever year it was." I said, "Great." But meanwhile, somebody had called me and said, "Oh, you look great. Can you come and introduce our Cher impersonator at this club?" And so I said, "Okay, great." I think it was like $75 or whatever it was. And I just thought, this is really fun. So yeah, the first gig was kind of in-house, if you will, because it was someone who knew me. But then to have somebody see me in character on Halloween or wherever it was, must have been Halloween, to say, "Hey, I would love it if you could come in and host and introduce our Cher impersonator." And I thought, wow. So that's how it felt, really good.
Right. I bet you that felt real good.
Yep.
When you walk into a room as Austin Powers, you're bringing energy, confidence, and fun. What has this character taught you about confidence in real life?
Well, in real life, the confidence comes, as I say, from the response, from the validation of the presentation. Because if it was looking bad, people would just say, "Oh, that's really cute," and walk away. But um, you apply this in real life because this is just a character. You can't do an entire presentation based on 5 lines from a movie. You have to be able to make that character walk and talk and be in any situation. If somebody says something to you, you've got to be able to say something right back to them and everything. So they interlap, they overlap, interweave, interlap. That was a stripper I once dated. Because he said, yes. But anyway, they take over each other. Whatever you learn in the character will carry over into your everyday life, and whatever things you can learn in your everyday life will carry over into the character. So it's sort of a give and take.
Good one, good one. Behind every great performer is a story people don't see. What challenges did you have to overcome to build your craft and create your own identity?
Well, as I say, creating my own identity is these characters are part of my own identity in a sense. Now, as I say, in order to do any of these things, you have to have a good base within your own identity and stuff. The challenges I've faced, I have had people when it didn't look as it does now. People would just say that's stupid or that's a devil. Even now, people look at me like I'm Satan. Very often, I'll get sneers and people just don't get it, and it's maybe it's not for everyone, like that. And and if I'm at a trade show, a trade show is an industrial meeting where you have several vendors selling a product that is helpful to the theme of the show. Let's say it's a dental trade show, so there's all these people selling things to the buyers who would come in, like dentists and stuff. So each little booth has to have something that will, reel in the customer. And I am a very big traffic generator. I bring a lot of leads in to whoever hires me. And it's funny because you'll be walking around on a break or with the client somewhere else, and you'll see another booth and 2 guys just standing there with their arms folded, nobody in the booth, just standing there glaring at me like, I say, yeah, I know. Why didn't we think of that? Yeah, why didn't we spend money? So it's like people will look at me and say, oh, because they're empty and somebody decided, let's do something to try and create a buzz around our booth and our product and stuff. But yeah, you get looks from everybody. You get people that don't get it. That's the challenge. That's the challenge for anything really. I mean, you walk outside, someone looks at your face or your clothes and just goes, oh, and walk away. That's just life, baby. Just so you just keep on walking. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's a good point. So how do you deal with stuff like that? You just continue your day?
You just do it. You walk away and you move on to the next thing. And people say things on social media that are not kind, and you just say, look, if you don't know what you're talking about, or you just ignore it and everything like this. This kind of thing. Somebody said, oh, this isn't funny. The whole Austin Powers thing it wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. And you say, well, you're not funny either. So take that stick out of your ass. You say things like that, and then you start it. But it's better just to say, delete. But yeah, people. You don't have to respond. No response is a response, right, baby? No response is a response. That's usually the best thing. But once in a while, I like to have a little fun, but still stay out of it. The best thing to do. That's how you handle it. Just ignore it. Just walk away. Walk on by. Walk on by. Like that. Just walk on by.
Right. And How important, speaking of this topic, how important is energy to you?
It's very important. And as you can hear, I have no voice because I used a lot of energy in Palm Springs screaming. And I had a bit of a cold before it got better. And then this was the residual of it. So, energy is your number one tool, your number one concern is your energy. So, you have to really conserve it. You take it easy when you are not on it. So you have a gig at night. So you spend a whole day resting, which I do. If you travel for a gig, you generally travel in the day before. That's just for safety. Sometimes you don't have the luxury to travel in the day before. So you have to try to conserve your energy as best you can. Because if you go in there with no energy, that doesn't mean you're not doing the gig. That doesn't mean you're not going to expend the energy. It's just gonna be more difficult. But very, very good point. Mr. Rome is yes, energy is the most important thing in this presentation. Yes, sir.
Good one. Good one. Um, Owning who you are is very important. How important has being authentic been in your creative career?
Well, being Austin has been very groovy because, as I said, it's taken over a lot of my main crux of things. I'm an actor, and I used to be a jazz singer. I gave that up. Um, but yeah, this is whatever just keeps coming in is what you focus on. If the money comes in from this or that, you say, oh, I'm going to concentrate on that. And as it comes in more, you add more to the outfit, add more to as it comes in. You don't just set out and say, I'm going to spend $500 million on a costume. And let's see how it looks. And then nobody likes it. Like with voiceover, there's people in the voiceover world. They have these $1,500 to $22,000 home studios all in place. They have reels everywhere to go. They say, "Oh, you need to get that." So, what do you need to get? Get me some jobs first. Get me some gigs. Make it worth. It's like I can still do this to get the auditions in. But before I invest in a whole system of, let me see how that area of work pans out. Then as it goes, you get a little more, a little more, a little more. Yeah, you just got to go with the flow. Go with what's right in front of you. Don't go with what's ahead of you because you can't see it, right? Don't concentrate on what's ahead of you. Concentrate on what's right in front of you. It's like don't want to look into the future. Don't try and predict the future. Create the future. Okay, so create your future. Don't say, well, I see this over there. I'm going to. No, you create your future and you do it one moment at a time. So there you go.
Good one.
What the hell was that? Thanks, baby. I was joking. I feel it in my vagina.
Good one. Create the future.
Yes.
Create the future. Good one.
Yes. Remember that. Say it again. Don't want to know what's in the future. Don't want to know the future. Don't try to predict the future. Create the future. You got it? Write it down.
Good one. Good one. The fact you made this a career and you're still working on it, how does that feel? Because you made a career out of it.
It feels validating. It feels that I put effort into something and people said, hey, we like this. We're smiling. You're making us happy. You made our day. People say, you made my day. You were so wonderful. Thank you so much. You were great. Thank you for making us laugh. Thank you for, bringing some joy and stuff. That's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm doing my part for, the good of mankind, if you will. That's kind of broad. But look, we're on this earth to try to help each other out. Okay? And if you can bring a smile to somebody, let's do it. Like I said, people look at me, they don't smile. They think it's terrible. They think I'm horrible. I'm very impulsive, and I have said stupid things. I will again, At least I own up to it, But yeah, it makes me feel like I am doing something right, and the people who appreciate it are the ones that I need to focus on. That's true of all of us. Whatever we're doing in our careers, in our lives, it's the people who are appreciating it are the most important. Now, if people, you try to reach people, which I've done with people sneering or whatever, and then you make them smile, that's something too. And I've done that. Like that. Try to win them over, it doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. But yeah.
Good one. And what moment in your journey where you realized, like, wow, this is bigger than I ever thought? Have you got there yet?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, that's it in steps, in stages. First, it was, oh, that Halloween costume looks great. Let me hire you for something, And it was the same thing when I was doing Pee Wee Herman. A friend of mine, said, I can get you work doing Pee Wee Herman. That was kind of cool, and that was a little bit. And then this came along. I can get you work doing this. And then it turns into this thing, this studio. I approached the studio about doing some stuff, and they hired me for some promotional events. And then, as I say, you got this social media thing comes around, and you have email, you have a website, you're with different party sites. You put yourself out there, and people start responding. And then, as I say, with the social media, one person who has a billion followers or a bunch hires you for a party and somebody films a little bit of it and shows it, and it blows up. That brings work to you. That's happened twice. Now, this last one was my friend Chase Hofer, who did, the now world famous hiring an Austin Powers impersonator for myself. It started out with hiring a magician for myself. That he started that whole thing. There's copycats all over the place. He started, and he was a friend of a client. So that's how we met. He's improv. He's a comedian. And he said, I want to use you on this thing. Pretend like I'm hiring you for a party. You come in, there's nobody there. It's just me. That's the joke. And then we just do that. Well, he said, look at the one I just did about the magician. So I watched it and stuff. So that really hit. And I've gotten a gajillion followers on the Instagram. I got more inquiries for work. Now, before this really went super viral for me, I was doing a lot of personal shout outs where you hire me to do a birthday video, anniversary video, congratulations video, happy Mother's Day, that kind of thing. And I was doing those and doing those and doing those. Well, this thing hit during Valentine's Day. The two big, for me, that I've noticed, the two big times to do this shout outs are Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So smack dab in the middle of Valentine's Day, this thing happens. So I'm getting all of these inquiries for the shout outs. I had to cut them off. And I did not have any more time to do the shout outs because I'm so busy concentrating on the live appearances. So I had to cut those out. And people still ask me, could you please do, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. Then certain people, they don't like to take no for an answer. And I'm very apologetic when I do it. And there's, oh, please, can't you just do that? Please, can't you? And no, I'm really sorry. And then another one, I'll tell you what, I'll just say 10 seconds. I'll give you $5 and just say, and it's like, so what I did was I actually I was going to a gig, I actually stood against a nice background, and I did this promo for this individual's band show that he was doing, and I had it ready to go. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you give me X amount of dollars, I'll have it done, by right after my gig tonight. Crickets. So you see, you get that and that's why I actually put a disclaimer on my Instagram page saying I no longer do the shout outs. I apologize for, and most people understand that or respect it. But if they ask again, that's fine, and I'll say I'm sorry. I'm no longer able to do it. Please accept my apologies. And so, but you get someone like that who doesn't take no and then keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And how do you think he runs his business? How do you think he promote? Do you think that's good marketing to speak to someone, and when they say no, and then say, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you $2, and all you have to do." Okay, that is someone. First of all, I've never heard of their band, which just doesn't matter, you know. But second of all, if I ever see their band anywhere, I'm going to know that guy was really unprofessional, and you know, it blew up in his face. So, but you know, that's all you can do. You know, people will set their own hair on fire. You know, you don't have to hold a mattress to, just watch. You know, and it's terrible. I mean, but as I said, I do the best I can with the time that I have available to me. So,
good one. And I got a couple more.
okay.
What keeps you motivated to keep improving your creative stuff and bringing you joy to other people year after year?
Well, as I say, it's the response that I get.
The
And
response.
you get response from what you get is little tiny parties, big, huge corporate parties, big private parties with big budgets and stuff. And that keeps me going because it shows me that my presentation is reaching, getting the ear of higher ups as far as money goes, corporations, but also just, you know, regular person. I'm a regular, but listen, nobody's more tiny than me. I'm just this little guy. I'm not this big. You know, so whoever says, I would really love to have you at my thing, I really would love to, that keeps me going. The fact that what I'm doing is desirable to some people, is something people want, and something that I will endeavor to do the best that I can for and stuff. And like I said, there's no small, nothing too small for me to ask me to do, because believe me, you know, I'll tell you this, people say to me all the time, they say, "Hey, well, when you hit the big time, will you remember the little people?" I said, "Listen, baby, let me tell you, when I'm standing there all by myself on that stage with a big spotlight down, shining on me, I can't see a thing. I am the littlest person of all. So do I remember the little people? Yeah, I am the little people. And Fisher Price little people. I remember the Fisher Price little people. Ask you, but yeah. So you know, I'm the little person. I'm not this. I am. You know, I walk in. There's a big line. People to meet me. I'll come around the back. Who are you waiting for? That's I never did that. No.
Good one. Good one. Um, Looking ahead, what is the next big goal or dream you're chasing in the entertainment journey?
Well, I would like this presentation to lead to something, so that people will look inside and say, "Hey, yeah, that's great, Austin Powers, but I don't care about Austin Powers. I care about Richard Halpern." And someone would look beyond and say, "Wow, there's a person in there making that go. It's not just, hello, my name is Austin Powers." You know, no, it's Richard Halpern who's in there making it go. Because, you know, there's all different Austins. There's the good, the bad, the ugly. And, you know, you look at them and they say, "Oh, okay, that's," yeah, I see. Other people really, really giving it their all. It comes through. But as I say, I would like someone to look, just to propel me to the next level. It'd be great to be on a television show, baby. You know, as myself, you know, I'm a good improv. You know, I've done improv podcasts, and there's one now called "My Dad is Austin Powers," who a young lady, Alyssa Sabo, who we worked on a movie together called Mondo Hollywoodland, and she is a stand-up. She's an improv. She asked me, "This is a great idea I had. Can you know?" And we did it. It was all improv. So we filmed this whole thing, and then she's been putting up little pieces of it. Well, I've been looking at it, and I'm laughing because I don't remember I said what I just said. Like, I'd like someone to see this and reach in and say, "Yeah, come on, Richard, want to use you." That's how I got my voiceover agent. I had a ton of material, of audition material based on all the bits that I did on Rick D's in the Morning. All these different voices, all these different things. Well, the voiceover lady says, "I don't give a hang about Rick D's. I hear you in there. I want," not, she doesn't give a hang, but she's saying that she saw through all of these presentations, there was a person that had possibilities. So that's what I'd like to do for the next thing, and be able to, even with this presentation, to bring it up, do something with, if there ever is a fourth film, which, allegedly it's going to be a fourth film, and it's all over the internet, when all the conversation was, "Hey, is it going to be," people wanted to win the day in Austin 4? Yes. Okay, that's where it ended. Yes. And now it's in production. It's not in production. I would, nothing more would please me than to have a fourth film out, because I would catapult it. I would call the studio again. I would talk, I know the people, I've worked with people on like Jay Roach, they know me, and so I would say, "How can I get involved in it?" I would be really proactive with it. Yes, it should only happen that there is a fourth movie. I certainly would love to be involved in it in any way that I could. But that's for this character. Now, beyond this character, as I say, hopefully someone will see this and say, "You know what? I'm gonna put this guy. I have a perfect part for this guy in this television show." So and it becomes this huge hit, or an animated series that hits. Like the Simpson people, set for life.
Right.
The what is it? The South Park. They're billionaires, billion with a B, billion. And they do the little voices and the characters and stuff. But is he something like that would really hit? Whether it's an animated thing, whether it's a live television, or is a show on the television. There is no such thing as that. There's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and all these things. Somewhere in there, I'm sure I could fit and do something.
It'll happen.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question, Mr.
Okay.
Did you happen to watch Monster on Netflix? The last one with the Ed Gein story.
I didn't. I got to.
Well, you got to watch it, because I'm in there for 7 beautiful seconds of mayhem.
I'm gonna check it out.
You don't know it's me, baby. You will. I'll give you a hint what to look for. Hit it, Grandma! Come on, hit it! Hit it! Come on, Grandma! Hit it! Come on, hit it, Grandma! Hit it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I let me search for that. All right.
I got one more.
Okay.
I like to end on a positive note.
Yes.
For someone that wants to get started, doing what you do, or doing media, or doing anything, or starting a business, what's the first 2 things that you would suggest?
Well, the first thing I would suggest is take it seriously. But if you're going to do it, do it. Don't, that doesn't mean, like I just said, invest in a whole. The idea is here, and you take that idea seriously, and you build on that. You focus on it, and as you're building, you may get taken this direction, and you go, and it works because you took it seriously here. So whether here leads you to there, 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 you're going to be successful with it because you started with it here. Take it seriously, focus, be open minded, listen, okay? Listen, write notes. Don't just run your mouth. Listen to what people are saying to you. And God, yeah, that guy is that God? Yeah, you listening, baby. Yeah, I would say just listen and focus. That's the first two of many things, you know. But yeah, just focus, get your head on straight. Because if you come in without focus, they're gonna say, oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, so do yourself a favor, do the world a favor. You want to enter into focus. Listen, good listener. There we go.
Very important.
And
Once again,
don't give up. Don't give up.
that's key.
Yes.
Now, once again, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Maybe we could do a part 2 soon.
At any time. And if you want to do part 4, let's see, we can make part 4 happen. You know, just, you know, because what's the part 4 and the 4 and part 2? You said because we're going to cross that now. Listen, Ron, thank you very much. It was my privilege. It was my pleasure. And I'm certain, you know, we could say this together. Hey, Ron, if people want to contact me, do you know where they should go? Or should I tell you? Instagram, that's right. At Austin Powers Impersonator. All one word. Austin Powers Impersonator on Instagram. I'll be there. I'll be there, baby. Right. Well, thank you so much again. It was very nice to have you ask me to do this, and I'm honored, and I do thank you.
Yes, same here. I appreciate it. I'll keep in touch. Peace.
Peace.